Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 115 of the Journey's anime titled The Curtain Rises. The Masters Tournament just dropped, and this is the beginning of the Masters 8 tournament. Our first round matchup is Alain versus Leon. How will it go? Let's find out. This episode is fascinating to me, not because of anything particular that the episode itself does, but rather the community reaction to this episode. Let's quickly go through this episode before I talk about that. Ash arrives at Wyndon ready for the Masters 8 when he's challenged by Hop. Ash easily beats him and his Wooloo before finding out that he's Leon's brother. Once inside, him and Iris go inside the locker room where they are super excited to win when they're surprised by how tense the champion locker room is. All 8 Masters 8 contestants are then brought out and introduced to the fans before we get to see all of the first round matches drawn randomly. And due to that, the matchups we get are Leon vs Alain, Diantha vs Lance, Cynthia vs Iris, and Steven vs Ash. While all the other champions decide to go back to the locker room to watch the first match, Ash decides to go to the stadium and watch as a fan to feel the electricity of the crowd. Before the battle in the locker room, there's a discussion about Steven knowing Alain, as well as Iris taking pictures with all of the other female champions. And here's where the controversy begins. Alain and Leon start off their battle with a grass vs grass battle, Rillaboom vs Chestnut, and Leon immediately goes for a G-Max with his Rillaboom. Alain does a good job of avoiding any major damage like G-Max drum solo and gets Rillaboom to come out of his G-Max form by dodging attacks. However, he is quickly KO'd when hit by acrobatics after Rillaboom dodges Chestnut's Gyro Ball when it upped its speed due to max airstream when it was G-Maxed. Then, Alain brings out his Charizard as his second Pokemon and with a single Flare Blitz takes out Rillaboom. That makes it even. Then, Leon brings out his Charizard as his second Pokemon. The two Charizard go for a clash of Air Slash and Dragon Claw, but Alain can't get close, so he decides to bring out his Malamar instead and calls back his Charizard. However, even with some great looking dodges by Malamar on Air Slashes, Malamar gets caught by Charizard and takes a point blank Fire Blast to the face, KOing it right there. Finally, Alain has to bring out his Charizard, which is his final Pokemon, and immediately he Mega Evolves it. We get this awesome cut of him using Dragon Claw while going through Leon's ancient power. However, it's too much for Alain, as afterwards, when he goes for his Flare Blitz, Leon's Charizard is able to fire off a point-blank super effective Dragon Pulse to KO Alain's Charizard, ending the match. The battle is over, the two shake hands and wish each other well, and the episode ends with Diantha and Lance heading towards the battlefield for their matchup. I have not seen the Pokemon community on the internet heated this much in a long time. People are legitimately angry at what they feel is a betrayal of Alain's character. They feel like he got done dirty by the writers, that he was just used as a stepping stone towards progressing Leon, someone who they felt didn't deserve any more progress. But to me, I never really cared that much about Alain, not in XY and not now, so it doesn't bother me that he got destroyed, because for me, I'm looking at the narrative side of things. Technically speaking, Alain is the weakest person out here in the Masters 8. All other participants in the Masters 8 are champions of their respective region. Even Ash is considered the regional champion of Alola. Alain only won a championship league in Kalos. There's a difference because Diantha is still the regional champion. So logically, everything in my opinion here makes sense. However, I do understand people's gripes. The match did feel a little short, especially for a Masters 8 battle. It only took about half an episode. That feels really short for the best trainers in the world. However, this also kind of makes sense to me because when you face the strongest of the strong, one mistake and you can be taken out very quickly. And as I was talking about earlier with the champions locker room, we see them discuss this fact. Not only that, we get to see Iris' reaction to witnessing this reality. At the highest level of Pokemon battle, if you get hit by a super effective move, you are done. And that's what the writers decided to do here. So while for a lot of people, they were upset at how this match went down, I don't really mind. I know the narrative is leading towards Leon vs Ash. Not only that, Leon is the strongest champion. He is undefeated. A lot of people online are saying that Alain should have took him down to his final Pokemon and it should have been a close battle, but if Leon is the strongest, most undefeated champion, it wouldn't make sense for him to go the distance in his first battle, especially because he uses Ace so early on. So yeah, I have a different opinion than the majority of the community. I didn't mind this battle at all. There is a little bit of weird editing going on here and there, and some of the animation does look a bit stiff. However, the final clash we did get in full animation looked amazing. And maybe that's also what people wanted. They wanted the entire battle to be that way, and if that's the case, fair enough. I can understand wanting something as big as the Masters 8 to have incredible animation all the way through. However, Pokemon Journeys has had production issues from the beginning. Even in this episode, they had 6 different animation directors. That's not normal for most shows. A show either has 1 or 2 animation director at the most. 6 means that there's a lot of turmoil going on and they're having to bring in a lot of people to complete big chunks of the animation. So while I would like to see awesome animation all the time, I'm also realistic and know that they have to save it due to the production troubles. One thing I don't agree with people saying is that this episode is ugly or looked bad. While some of the animation was stiff like I said, I don't think the episode looked bad at all. I think what's happening is that people are conflating their dislike of what happened in the episode itself and saying that the animation is also bad. But I feel like the two are mutually exclusive. Now, besides the real life aspect of production here, I really did like how they portrayed Leon here. He has been shown in the past to be a very smart trainer, and in this case he really proves it. He's changed his moveset on his Charizard multiple times, and he seems to do it for every battle in order to figure out exactly what he needs to do to win. And in this case, he taught his Charizard long-range attacks like Ancient Power, Fire Blast, Dragon Pulse, Air Slash to keep Alain, who he knows is a close-range fighter, at a distance. I thought that was brilliant. It's a subtle thing where you might not even notice it, however, it really does show how smart Leon is as a fighter. Even his immediate use of G-Max seems strange until you figure out that he's using Max Airstream to speed up his Rillaboom so that he can use acrobatics later on. Even Lance and Steven talked about this, and I thought that was really showcased well here. I also like the different personalities of all the different champions. Irish and Ash are newer champions, so they act a lot different than the other champions who've been around for a while. Ash still doesn't care that much about being famous, so instead of sitting in the locker room with all the other champions, he decides to go out into the crowd. I thought that was fantastic. I thought it did a great job of showing what type of character Ash is. And as for the other champions, Lance and Steven are shown to be very analytics. They're talking about the battle the entire way through. Iris is brand new, so she isn't really saying much, she's just taking everything in with the other champions. All of this worked really well, in my opinion, was a fantastic dynamic in this episode. Also, we got to see the return of Team Rocket and their radio personality. And while they say they're here to see the different strong Pokemon so they can capture them, I do find their presence here an overall positive. They're able to bring levity to serious situations, and they're also able to provide entertainment in between battles. I like it. So overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I guess if you're a longtime Alain fan, I could understand why you didn't, but for me, as someone who really doesn't care about him one way or the other, I really enjoyed this battle for what it was. Yes, I do wish the animation was a bit better the entire way through, but I thought the animation we did get was pretty solid, especially at the end. But I know people won't agree with me, so let me know in the comments what you think about this. The next episode is at least guaranteed to be a 3-on-3. We're getting Leon's Dragonite, Hydreigon, and Gyarados versus Diantha's Gourgeist, Aurora, and Mega Gardevoir. I can't wait. But anyways, that is it for my review of episode 115 of the Journeys anime. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe. In the comments, let me know your thoughts on this episode. You can follow me on Twitter at TheRealPDGaming, and that is it. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.